Hello, welcome to SEO Wolf. Today's podcast is called the Karate Kid Theory and Persuasion. So, so there was this movie that had come out. It was a little popular. So it's called Karate Kid, and there, I think it was maybe Jackie Chan, and there's also he had a student, and who came to him to learn karate, and what that Jackie Chan, that teacher there, I don't remember if it was Jackie Chan or someone else. No, I think it was Jackie Chan. So what he taught him was just to focus on the basic things, like to put that coat back into that place from where hanging the coat, or just scrubbing. I think it was glasses. Sorry, I watched the movie a long time ago. But here's the concept. So basically, what he told was to just focus on those small regular things. So, and he basically had him work on his basics. So those kind of tasks helped him for basics like blocking and maybe attacking and those kind of things. So here's how it applies in a lot of this marketing and persuasion. I think a better example than this is maybe Bruce Lee had said that I don't fear that one person who has practiced 1,000 moves one time, but I fear that uh, martial artist that has practiced one move 1,000 times. So here's how it applies that in theory, a lot of this persuasion skills, sales, and whatever you call it, this having an understanding of those concepts. A lot of people have them. They read books and those kind of things, but it's on a level that is kind of intellectual. They've heard it once, or they have heard it maybe several times, but they've not gone out and sold something, and maybe actually they've not spoken to so many people. They don't have the practice of this, and it's one thing to intellectually know that this is the right thing to say or right thing to do in a particular situation. Intellectually, when you're comfortable in your maybe in your comfort zone, or at your home intellectually thinking about it, but it's a totally different thing uh, doing it when a customer is maybe angry at you. Maybe it's 5-6 hours into your shift, or it's been a long time that and there's a lot of stress, so many stress, or a lot of things going all on at once, and those kind of things. So this is one thing to know intellectually, and one thing to actually use those skills at the moment of truth, as to say, the moment of truth in the sense that when actually your decision will make a difference with between yes or no, when you're actually face to face in front of a prospect or customer, or who you're selling it to. So intellectually knowing all these things is good, but having practiced these things, I'll give you a very easy example, a simple example. So a lot of people know about this thing, that this yes, yes, yes technique with a lot of sales people, and old school also it is taught that you should get a series of yes answers from customers or whoever you're talking to build a positive momentum. And a lot of people, they know this technically, intellectually, but uh, this yes, yes, yes is different than from just getting a yes. There's a lot of depth into it. If you use it a lot, that yes could also be just getting a nod or confirming something. And You might think, when you think of a yes question, you might be thinking that you might ask someone mm, that thinking of those questions in itself is than uh, difficult than just doing it intellectually. See, right now I don't have a customer right now in front of me, so thinking of this is difficult right now for me. But it goes the same for if you in a conversation someone has not been through it a lot of times, thinking of the correct thing to say or the correct question to ask for those yes 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 tasks is also difficult. That comes over time if you've done it a lot of times. This kind of things also does not come easy. And suppose if some I'm calling someone and the basic information is there with me. So a lot of people, they start with and it's a good technique. They start with assuming, not assuming, starting with all the things that they know about someone. Going back to the, it goes back to that philosophy that if you're an authority of where someone is, you can be an authority of where you have to go next. So according to those kind of philosophies, they go and they share all the things that they know about someone. And this is one selling style. The other style, it's kind of that is actually not my selling style. My selling style is not telling them, because a lot of people have become aware of this technique. And right now in 2022, I think the time for this has gone past now. It's the thing of the past. Maybe if you talked about in 2000 or 2004 6, it would have been effective technique, but I think it is thing of the past. And a lot of people, they themselves have been trained on this kind of things, and those are also might be working in corporates, or they might have something heard something similar before. So this 100% of the times this is not going to work. So instead of that, if you know something, what you can do is, with those things that you know, you can build a positive momentum with those yes ladder that you have. And that can be something, if you try this over and over and over again, if you just use this simple technique of using that yes ladder in all your conversation. If someone is moving away from you in the sense that they're not agreeing, you can again revert back to the yes ladder to get them into the positive momentum. If someone is angry at you, you can still get them to the momentum in which where they are listening to you, and listening to you in the sense that they're actually listening. Like there's one kind of listening that there's a noise and you heard that noise, but there's another thing of listening that uh, you are the person talking and they are the one who is listening. So if you're talking about with the attention that you're the person talking and they're listening, so you can revert back to the conversation again where you are the person to whom they are listening with these kind of techniques. And you can throw away all the other sales and marketing and those kind of crap, not crap, but those kind of techniques. You can throw away all those things, and I could still uh, make away with those only this technique, but used every time in a different manner and used with different kind of subtlety every time, or a different kind of context. So here's the thing: you don't need a lot of techniques. You might know of 50 ways of closing, and starting out in sales programs, there was this that most persuaders only know 3 ways to close a sale, maybe 5 ways to close a sale. I'll teach you 50 ways to close a sale. And this is good. Intellectually, you should be knowing a lot of ways to close the sale and those kind of things, and handling objections. This is all good, but here what matters is quality over quantity. And you should pick according to your selling style. You don't have to do the same thing. And a lot of times, some seasoned people, the authority thing that I was talking about, it works for them, and those older people, because they have a mastery on this. And for newer person, it might not be. So it also depends. Some people are have maybe a different comfort zone. And starting out, I'd say you don't invent your own styles. You follow what works, and sample scripts and whatever they tell you, because starting out is not the time to experiment. It's like when you play instruments and those kind of things. Starting out, a lot of those musicians think they follow rules, and once they know the rules, that is, after that they can break the rules. So know all the rules and then break the rules, and that's all. So I won't be able to tell you how to find your own selling style. And this podcast, it directly is not only the thing that we talked about in the title. So it's not a perfect world, I'm sorry. But getting back to the topic here, the Karate Kid theory in persuasion, you find any one selling style or any one technique, whatever you use. Instead of knowing 5 or 10 techniques, in theory, focus on having mastery over few techniques, or maybe at least one technique. At least you should have that you have a mastery on. So focus on those things. So, like Bruce Lee said, that he fears that fighter that has practiced one technique 1,000 times instead of 1,000 techniques one times. You also become that kind of persuader who has practiced one kind of technique 1,000 times. So that is how you attain mastery on it, and you get into the subtle things, because marketing and this persuasion and those kind of things, they have a lot of depth into them once you go. And the more you study, the more depth you realize there is beyond this. So that's all. Find any one thing first, and focus on it. And you can start with the basic selling techniques, and they might sound basic, but over time, if they're used, it becomes very subtle. And it's one thing to use it while I think I'm repeating myself here, but I think repetition is key. So that is fine. So it's one thing knowing to use it while you're relaxed and with your friends and maybe reading a book, and those kind of comfortable environments. But knowing to use all those techniques while you're in stress and in the moment of truth where it matters, that is the ultimate mastery of this. And being able to use that after maybe 7-8 hours after you're stressed, or maybe it's if you're in a call center, you might be listening this, knowing maybe you might intellectually listen to those say techniques or those kind of things. Knowing this intellectually is one thing, but using it while you're tired and stressed out and those kind of scenarios, that is a very different thing. And this kind of unconscious ability comes with practice and momentum, and a lot of again practice and repetition. So that's all. You this I think you'll just have to trust me on this, that this practice and repetition thing works. And even for smaller techniques, if you use it better over time, it'll the how if it feels forced, or between whether it is smooth. The transition that comes between your pitch will come after you have tried it a lot of times, and you have that kind of subtlety. And the only way you'll become smooth, if you've heard that this person is very smooth and those kind of things, the only thing that smooth means is they have done this thing something a lot of time, so that it becomes kind of unconscious for them to use those techniques. So this is how you become smooth: a repetition over time, over the basics techniques, and that's how you'll become smooth and better. That is my Karate Kid theory of persuasion. Hope that helps and gives you a confidence over things. And that's all. Thank you for listening to SU Wolf. Signing out.